So Walt, tell us what this is all about today.
Today is the day that we award to the local police and fire person of the year our Service Above Self Award. These folks are recommended by their respective chiefs, and it's always a great honor to have them here, and they enjoy themselves, and we show a little bit of our appreciation for their service.
How long has this been going on for?
This is the 11th annual.
Get started on the program. We're a little late because we wanted to give our honored guests a little bit of time to eat here, but I want to take this opportunity to introduce Mike Lyon. Mike is with WPBF down in West Palm. Most of you know him. Mike's a 20-year veteran tracking South Florida's ever-changing weather. He arrived here in 1991 and has covered every major weather event, including Hurricane Andrew in '92, the storm of the century in '93, Hurricane Floyd in '99, and we all remember Francis, Jean, and Wilma in 2004 and 5. Mike has earned a number of awards for his on-air work, including special recognition from the National Hurricane Center, the Governor's Hurricane Conference, and as Broadcaster of the Year from the National Weather Association. Mike is constantly educating viewers on the power of the weather and how to prepare for it. When he's not on the air, you'll find Mike visiting local schools, educating children on Mother Nature. He's also a member of the Singer Island Rotary Club and is chairman of the Rotary Youth Leadership Assembly, RILA. Mike also serves on committees for the Martin County Chamber of the American Red Cross. He's an avid golfer, and he lives down in God's country near me in Jupiter. Now, this is our 11th year of Service Above Self Awards, which started back in Walt's president year. And Mike has emceed every single event. Is that correct, Mike? Mm-hmm. Every single year, Mike Lyons has emceed this event. He does a fantastic job, so please let's give Mike a nice Stuart Rotary.
Thank you very much, Matt. Hi, everybody. Great to be back again, to be your Master of Ceremonies. As Matt mentioned, this is the 11th year for the Service Above Self Awards. Hard to believe it's been 11 years. Even harder to believe I've been doing it for 11 years. But it's a privilege, and I'm very happy to be back here once again. I want to introduce a couple of the people at our table here, the head table, if you will, before we actually go to the award ceremony. First off, Battalion Chief Clark Campbell is with us today. Chief, thanks for having me here. Brian's one of our award winners. You'll hear more about him in just a second, but his better half in many respects, his wife of 29 years, Sue Nethers, is here. Next to Sue, Police Chief. Chief Dias, how are you, Chief? Good. Bill is one of our award winners. You'll see him in just a second, and he brought a good part of his family as well. His wife, Shannon. And two of their 4 kids. The other 2 are in school, but we have Scout, who's 3 years old. Scout, raise your hand. I got her. And Jonathan, can you see me over here, buddy? Jonathan is 1 years old. Jonathan is giving us such a look, isn't he? The Service Above Self Award. It is such a great award, and it's such a great name. Again, it goes back 11 years when Walt Witropsky was president and came up with the name. For those of you who are not Rotarians, Service Above Self is kind of the motto of Rotary. It's what Rotarians do. They put service above self. They try to improve their community, and that's why around the world there are more than 1 million Rotarians, hundreds of clubs, hundreds or thousands of clubs in hundreds of countries that try to make their community, their neighborhood, a little bit better by putting service above self. So that's part of the name. But then when you apply it to members of the Stuart Fire Department, Fire Rescue, to the Police Department, these men and women put service above self every day. So I think it's a perfect name for a great award, and we're so happy that we're able to pass it along today. Let's pass out our first Service Above Self Award. It's going to go to Bill McGeegan. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Close enough. Bill has been an active member of the community, both on duty and on his own time. Chief Daya says that Bill is a huge asset to the department, calling him, quote, an ambassador to the community, especially the young people of our area. I got a lot to say about this, so you're going to have to stand here for a while. He has spent countless hours with the Boys and Girls Club and the Boy Scouts, helping them learn more about the great outdoors. For example, Bill has made multiple presentations on how to differentiate between poisonous and non-poisonous snakes. That is important stuff. It's obvious he loves the outdoors, and I think it's also obvious he loves to share his passion with young people. In fact, Bill took a personal interest in restoring a local pond that had been in steady decline for years. He developed a plan for the restoration of the pond, presented it to the community and to the city. He gathered all the necessary supplies, including plants and fish, and spent several days bringing the pond back to life. And as you can tell, Jonathan was very excited about that. Now here's what the chief says about Bill. He goes out of his way to help other officers and citizens to build a better community. He says Bill's goodwill helps to build friendships in the community and benefits all concerned. And Bill exemplifies the phrase, service above self. So the Rotary Club of Stuart is proud to present its Service Above Self Award to Bill McGeegan. Let's give it up for Bill. I know your son has been talking mostly, but now it's your turn.
Okay, I've written this really long speech. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my department, my family. It's one of those things that you grow up as a kid and you're like, you grow up in the outdoors and you see how kids can enjoy things, and when I drive to work every day, I want to see the kids do the same. And it was one of during the drought with no rain, and I saw a pond turn into a mud puddle, and I saw a little kid with a fishing pole in it, and I was like, I fished my fair share of mud puddles, creeks, streams. Even if you want to call it a stream, I fished it, and so I was like, you know what? I want these kids to be able to grow up in our community and learn the same ways, learn how to build your own lures, learn how to cast a rod, and a lot of the younger kids hadn't done this before, so it's kind of like just spending the time to teach them how to do this it was like I was teaching my own kids how to fish, and to be able to drive to work, and I'm trying. This pond plan is still underway. It was a very long. I didn't realize how long it would take to rebuild a pond, and how Mother Nature would fight you. And so really, I want to thank everybody for supporting me in my department. My chief, everybody has been more than supportive, and even my wife's been going on my days off with me, holding the kids while we're doing stuff and helping out. So she went out and got donuts for us even while we were all doing it, and watching the kids while I'm trying to help other kids, and it's nice to be thanked. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bill. Our next Service Above Self Award winner is a recently retired member of the Stuart Fire Rescue who's being honored for his many years of dedicated service to the community. And throughout his career, Brian has always worked hard to improve the safety of the department. For example, he was the department's Respiratory Protection Plan Administrator, meaning that he was to make sure that the self-contained breathing apparatus was properly maintained and tested. And even though he had retired from the department, Brian recently donated his time to ensure that the technicians taking over for him and taking over that responsibility kept things up to standards. In addition to his daily role as a fire rescue lieutenant, Brian traveled to New Mexico to a special school to become an instructor for emergency responses to terrorist events. He conducted classes for Stuart Fire Rescue, as well as others, to raise awareness and increase safety for all responders. Now, when he's not working for the department, he's still very busy. Brian has been an active participant in the Muscular Dystrophy Association, the American Legion, and the Future Farmers of America. He's now retired, but when you look at him, you say, this guy's way too young looking to be retired, but it's true. The Rotary Club of Stuart is proud to present the Service Above Self Award to Brian Nethers. Brian?
I'd like to thank Chief Dial, who couldn't make it here today. He's the one who put me in for this, and I was a little shocked when I got it in the mail. And I've retired, been almost 6 months now, and just starting to try to get used to being retired. It's still a little bit different every time I see a fire truck or an ambulance going down the road. I do miss it, definitely, after 31 years. The things that I did during my career, I kind of look back now, and I'm trying to pass things like this on to the new guys that are starting. It's not just a job. It is a job, but it's something that it's a job in the community. The community looks up to us as firefighters and police officers, and they need to realize that it's more than a job. You have to be a part of the community. Because the people look up to you, you have to give back more than just your hours on the job. And that's one of the things that a lot of people are missing out on that today. This is how we make a community, is by everybody caring and giving back. I still do some things with Muscular Dystrophy Association after 17 years of being the coordinator. I had to pass that down because of my medical reasons why I had to retire. But I passed that down to a guy that really showed some interest in it, and it gives him a way of learning more of what firefighters do for not just for MDA but also for the community. And that gentleman has taken over and done a very good job. But I still like helping out with the MDA. I have summer camp coming up in another 2 months. I take one of my miniature horses, and we have a cart that I had built that can support an electric wheelchair, so the kids can pull their electric wheelchair onto the cart and actually ride around with the horse. And because of my medical problems, I couldn't make it there last year, and the kids were all kind of disappointed. But Max is going to be back with his cart this year. But I definitely do appreciate this, and wish Chief Dial could have been here today. They had a mix-up on the dates, but thank you very much. And again, I'm trying to pass on to the newer guys that this is, our job is more than a job. It's something, this is something that we should do, is to definitely give back to the community.
Thank you, Brian. Well said. These two men are just great examples, aren't they? I mean, this is fantastic. Both Bill and Brian. And the Service Above Self Award. Sometimes I think we take these guys for what we take it for granted. We take the fire department for granted, we take the police department for granted, we call 911, we expect them to be there, but you know, these guys don't take their job for granted. And for us, as a member of the Rotary Club of Stuart, to take one day a year and say thank you to these guys, congratulations to the club and to everybody for doing this. Thank you very much.